Everyone, Stone here with Nintendo Life. Welcome back. And today we are comparing the new Nintendo Switch 2 that was just announced to Valve's Steam Deck. We're going to be comparing the two to seeing which one is the better buy, better value, especially for those hardcore Nintendo gamers out there. Started. So, currently we have Nintendo's next evolution, the Nintendo Switch 2, and we have Valve's PC gaming powerhouse, the Steam Deck. Now, let's talk first about the price. The Switch 2 is coming in at a price of $449 US, at $500 for the Mario Kart bundle, which is the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World bundled together. Then for the Steam Deck, we're going to do the newest model, for example. So we're going to be doing the OLED model. You can get the 512 gigabyte OLED model Steam Deck for $549 US, and you can get the 1 terabyte model for $649 US, and it comes with an anti-glare screen as a bonus. Now, already, the Switch is $100 cheaper. Now, I know $450 for a Nintendo console is still a lot. This is especially true because this is Nintendo we're talking about. But still, it's $100 cheaper. It's a significant savings up front. Now, Valve does opt for a cheaper Steam Deck at $399 US, so $400 US, but it has an older LCD screen, so it won't be as pretty, and it's limited to 60 Hertz, just like the original Nintendo Switch that had a 60 Hertz display. So, in this category for price, I'm going to say the Nintendo Switch takes cake, especially for value. So, the Nintendo Switch 2 biggest draw is its exclusives. Nintendo has always been known for their banger exclusives. You got Mario, you got Zelda, you got Pokemon, all of them. Banger exclusives, Metroid, everything. Now, you can emulate the games on the Steam Deck, but that's piracy, unless you own the game. If you actually own the game, then it's not considered piracy, but you could emulate the games, but it's a lot more streamlined on the Switch. Now, does the Steam Deck have exclusives? Not really. Now, you do have AAA games like Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate, Stardew Valley, Cyberpunk. You have the AAA games, you have the indie games, you have all that. There's a couple indie games on the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. Like, I'm pretty sure Stardew Valley is on the Switch. But running these AAA games on the Steam Deck will definitely require tweaking of the game's settings to get a smooth frame rate, unlike the Switch 2, where you could just pop the game in and bam, you're getting maximum performance right out of the package. So, for game library, it really depends. If you already have a big Steam library, the Steam Deck is already amazing and a lot better. But if you want those generation-defying Nintendo exclusives, the more polished console experience, just a massive library of not only well-made exclusives, but a lot of third-party titles that are look very promising. And like, we got a couple announcements in the Nintendo Direct that Cyberpunk is coming to the Switch 2, Elden Ring is coming to the Switch 2. There's a lot of those AAA games that the Steam Deck has coming to the Switch 2. So I think in this category, the Switch 2 will take the cake because it's just a more streamlined experience with the games, and it's just, you know what I mean. All right, next up we have hardware. So the newest Steam Deck has the beautiful 7.4-inch HDR OLED display at a 90 Hz refresh rate. So you get up to 90 FPS in games, and it is beautiful. You get those inky blacks that OLED screens are great at producing. You get those deep blacks, those vivid colors, and that's what makes OLED screens so stunning. I have an OLED Nintendo Switch, and that thing is absolutely stunning. But we have the Switch 2 with a 120 Hertz refresh rate LCD screen that is 7.9 inches. So it is actually bigger than the screen on the Steam Deck, and it also has a higher refresh rate. But the Switch 2 does have an LCD. It does support HDR like the OLED on the Steam Deck. But I think the display on the Switch might be slightly better. While yes, it is not an OLED and you're not going to get those perfect blacks, the Switch 2 does have a higher refresh rate, so the games will be a lot smoother. And the screen is also bigger, so you could view your content at a bigger size. And the Switch 2 also has the fact that you can dock it, and you can play on the big screen at 4K 60. So the Switch 2 also has that running for it, with the fact that you can also, have the Joy-Cons and you can play multiplayer right on the fly, and the Steam Deck cannot do that. So Switch 2, once again, is very capable for the size and the price. I'm very impressed with what Nintendo has done with this console. Now, yes, the Steam Deck does have more raw performance on paper. It's true. And the Switch 2 does have older hardware. That's what Nintendo has been known for. Old hardware in a new age and selling it for a big price. That's what Nintendo's been known for, but they always manage to do it so well. And this time they're giving us a great display. They're giving us a decent powerhouse of a console for the price. And the Switch 2 just holds a more special place in our hearts because of how adaptable and flexible it is compared to the Steam Deck. Especially around families. Like, the Steam Deck is great for those hardcore PC gamers that, especially want something on the go. But for that more casual gamer, some hardcore gamers, for the more casual gamer with family or friends or stuff, the Switch 2 definitely takes the cake. So, while the Steam Deck is a fantastic device for PC enthusiasts, the Switch 2 arguably presents a better, complete package for a wider audience. The combination of a lower starting price, unique beloved game library, backwards compatibility, and unparalleled versatility gives it a tremendous value that's hard to beat over Valve's Steam Deck. So, I'd say Switch 2, I'm going to be honest. There you have it. So if you're really looking for that next handheld gaming console in your life that you want to buy, I'm going to say go with the Switch 2. While yes, it may use a slightly older display technology, it is a lot bigger than the Steam Deck. It is a higher refresh rate, and the game library, you're not going to beat those exclusives. You got Mario, Zelda, and they're all being remastered in 4K 60 and 1080p 120. So, yeah, that is my opinion. That's what you think. But what do you guys think? Are you going to lean towards the Switch 2 or the Steam Deck? I'm definitely going to be leaning towards the Switch 2. Let me know in the comments which one you would choose in your opinion. And if this video helped you out a little bit, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.